Good morning, everyone. My name is Adrina of CBS2 Chicago. I will be your host for the next 30 minutes. Welcome. If you have never attended the Red Cross Heroes Breakfast, it is truly one of the most special days in our city. Each year, close to 1,000 guests and more than 50 event sponsors join to support the mission of the Red Cross and honor the heroic actions of those in our community. Every year, I leave this event just blown away by the heroism of fellow Illinoisans, and I'm so inspired to do more. For the past 15 years, CBS2 has been the proud media partner of the Red Cross for the Heroes Breakfast. And each year, my colleagues have served as the event MCs, sharing incredible stories of the American Red Cross and community heroes. If you have not done so already, I want to encourage you this morning to follow Chicago Red Cross and CBS Chicago across all social media platforms so you can learn more about the Red Cross heroes. New videos are uploaded every Tuesday and Thursday, and you can also watch CBS2 at 5 p.m. to see the heroes' stories on air. We're so grateful to feature them. Although we will not be able to gather in person, unfortunately, we do have our heroes joining us this morning. And before we move ahead, I'm just going to go over a quick overview of how this event is going to go this morning. We'll begin with a brief introduction by Selena Roldan, the CEO of the Illinois Red Cross, to learn more about some of the important work going on in our community. And then following Selena's remarks, we'll have an opportunity to meet our heroes, the most exciting part of this, for a Q&A segment. And then we'll close this morning with some final remarks. And now I would like to introduce Selena Roldan, the CEO of the Red Cross of Illinois. Hello, Selena. Thank you so much for what the Red Cross is doing here in Chicago. And we're so grateful for the work that you guys are doing. Welcome in this morning.
Thanks, Adrina. This is the 18th year of celebrating our heroes. Each one of them is every day extraordinary. But this year is unique, as this pandemic is not allowing us to gather together to celebrate. We know that this is a very difficult time in our city, in our communities, and across our world. But we know that the most important thing that we can do is create moments of connection and remind ourselves that there are incredible heroes every day in all of our lives, making life hopeful and brighter. Thank you to everyone for joining us today. Your Red Cross remains hard at work, ensuring we can be there when you need us. Across the country, we are continuing to collect life-saving blood. The need for blood is constant, and the Red Cross is working tirelessly to support the nation's blood supply while also proudly working with the FDA on the collection of convalescent plasma for COVID-19 patients. We are supporting people impacted by this tornado season, the deadliest in 10 years. About 1,200 people who have lost everything in recent tornadoes that ripped through the South and Midwest are receiving virtual counseling and comfort from volunteers, and we have sheltered those impacted in hotels. We are preparing locally in Illinois for this major storm season to ensure our volunteers are safe and ready. We have responded virtually to almost 200 fires across Illinois since the pandemic began, providing comfort, shelter, and financial assistance to those who have lost everything. We are providing more support through our call center to active military and veterans, many of whom are struggling during this time. This work gets done by our personal heroes at the Red Cross, our volunteers. The Red Cross is comprised of 90% volunteers executing our mission, working tirelessly during this health crisis. They are my heroes. They too are everyday extraordinary. But it's all of you who make it possible with your support. To our viewers today and our generous supporters, I am so grateful. You make it possible for families to receive help and hope from the Red Cross. Thank you. Now I'd like to take a minute to thank our annual Heroes Breakfast sponsors for standing with us during this critical time. Signature sponsors Better, Edwardson Family Foundation, and Kirkland & Ellis. Presenting sponsors CSX, KPMG, and Walgreens. Hero Award sponsors Aon, William Blair, CDW, Fresenius Kabi, Granger, ITW, Motorola Solutions Foundation, Nicor Gas, and United Airlines. Technology sponsor Annixter. Reception sponsors BMO Harris Bank and Northern Trust. Ambassador sponsors platinum sponsors, gold sponsors. Thank you for making it possible for us to carry out the Red Cross mission. Now I'm excited to hear from our 2020 class of heroes. Adrina, I'm sending it back your way.
Selena, thank you so much, and thank you for the life-saving work of the American Red Cross and all of those sponsors who are helping make that possible. Well, there is so much happening across the community. Services like those that the Red Cross provides continue to be such a vital lifeline. And the 2020 class of heroes is such an incredible group of humanitarians, and I encourage you to view their video stories on social media at Chicago Red Cross. Now here is a quick video highlighting the incredible 2020 class of heroes. Each one is truly everyday extraordinary.
I mean, I remember like stepping out to get a breath and thinking, this man is literally physically burning in front of my eyes. Like, I've got to do something.
I launched the National Women Veterans United, also known as NWVU, because I felt that women needed a veterans organization.
On that specific day, I received a phone call from Amina stating that her sister was taking a longer than usual nap and she wasn't waking up.
Helping others makes me feel really happy, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something in the world that will make at least like 2 or 3 kids happy. But I didn't know we're making that much kids smile, and that makes me so happy.
They were actually on their way to Northwestern to do a transplant. They was prepping and ready for surgery. And when he told me that, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
40 seconds later, the boat went over the dam. And it was probably the closest call I've ever experienced.
And as I was about to go across the intersection, I heard a woman screaming. So me and my son looked to our right, and we saw the lady right outside her car screaming. And then I told my son, just stay in the car while I go check.
What's something simple I can do that have a positive impact on my block? It can't get any more simpler than taking teenagers downtown or shoveling snow for seniors.
The need for blood is great, especially when dealing with something like leukemia. Really opened my eyes to the need for blood and the fact that it can't be man-made. It's something that you can give from yourself. It's the gift of life.
I think of what is happening in the world again today, and we're living in such an upheaval here in this country as well as other countries. I think we need to remember and learn from the past so it does not happen again.
In every disaster, the same cry is there. When will someone come to help us? Well, we are those people.
No matter what color we are, what religion, what background, the language we speak, but if we all just help out our fellow man, Chicago will be a better place. America will be a better place, just the whole entire world.
Wow, I'm just so moved by that video. As you can tell from just that short compilation, this 2020 class is filled with some extraordinary stories in 11 service categories. We are gonna welcome our heroes now so you can see their faces again and hear more of their stories. I'd like to begin our Q&A segment with 5 heroes. First, Jamal Cole, who is our community impact hero. Good morning, Jamal. Rosie Quinn, who is our youth hero. Good morning, Rosie, good to see you. Patty Gonzalez, one of our blood services heroes. She's joining us now, hello. Rochelle Crump, our military hero. And Fritzi Fritzschall, our global citizenship hero, who is joining us by phone. So you won't see her, but you'll hear her. You are all just such amazing humanitarians and true heroes who have done so much to strengthen our community. Now we know COVID-19 has impacted us all in so many different ways. So we wanna focus on that today and just talk about how you're navigating this. Jamal, if I can begin with you, you're the founder of My Block, My Hood, My City here in Chicago. I know your team does amazing work focusing on seniors and youth. How are you adjusting, continuing to serve through this really difficult time right now?
Well, good morning, everybody. Adrina, thanks for having me. Shout out to the Red Cross for the award. I mean, my team takes that as a charge or a challenge to keep on doing great work. Yeah, again, in my block, my hood, my city, our whole tagline is taking care of people no matter what. So if there's a snowstorm, you're going to see us out there shoveling snow for seniors. If there's going to be a heat wave, we're going to be delivering fans and delivering water to seniors. So this is what we do. I feel like we have the muscle memory it takes to make a difference. When it comes to COVID-19, this is something new no one's ever experienced, but we still lead with love and we still serve. So we've pivoted from delivering groceries to seniors to using Amazon Fresh and Instacart deliveries. We're still able to get about 100 deliveries out to seniors every week. We've had over 2,500 seniors reach out as well. So we've been using the youth to make wellness calls on the seniors to check in. Hey, how are you doing? What kind of groceries do you need? Do you need anything specific? Do you need to be connected to a primary healthcare physician? And the youth, that's a good intergenerational communication going on right now. And then finally, every Friday, we host peace circles via Zoom, like everybody. And we have a peace circle professional get on and check in with the general public. How are you guys doing? How are the kids doing? Do you need anything? So we've pivoted in the time of this transition. But listen, there's an opportunity in this crisis. And that opportunity is for all Chicago to come together. Businesses, nonprofits, and government sectors coming together. Stop being so segregated. Just ask yourself, what's something simple I can do that'll have a positive impact on my block? And that's where we start.
Jamal, that's such an important question and such important work that you guys are doing. Thank you so much. And now we're going to turn to Rosie, who is our youth hero, the youngest of the bunch at 9 years old, doing some amazing things. Rosie, talk about what you're doing right now during this pandemic to help others to serve right now.
Hi, Miss Adrina. Thank you, Red Cross, so much for this amazing award. My name is Rosie, and so Coming Up Rosie's donates headscarves to the bald kids who have cancer and alopecia, and they're in the hospital. And now with Corona, we have to keep ourselves safe, not only the kids in the hospital. So what we're doing is we're using our headscarves as face masks. Here's what one would look like. Here's a headscarf, and we put it over our mouths to keep us safe. We also have a campaign called Buy One, Give One. If you buy a headscarf, we will give a headscarf to the families and the children in the hospital.
That's so amazing, Rosie. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you for what you're doing through this really tough time. Thank you. And now we're going to turn to Patty, who is speaking on behalf of herself and other blood service heroes, Georgina Adan and Maricela Wesby. Patty, thank you for joining us this morning. Congratulations. Can you tell me what you guys are doing right now to continue to mobilize and get help where it's needed most?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for the American Red Cross for the award. Quick shout out to Maricela Wesby, Georgina Adan, my fellow award recipients. So Northern Trust as well for allowing us to host our blood drives. They've always been so supportive in allowing us to pursue our passion of the blood donations. We have not been able to host the drives right now because of the lockdown. So far, there's 2 drives that we've had to cancel. However, it's also created different opportunities to have blood drives where we normally can't have them, like Wrigley Field, like Navy Pier, like Guaranteed Rate Field, which is where I'll be tomorrow donating in case you wanna join me. The entire process, it's easy, it's clean. It takes about an hour. You just kind of go through some questions, answer them, relax, put out your arm. And if you're like me, afraid of needles, I just look away. I think of my niece, Santa Victoria, and all the blood that she received from donors. So it's a very easy and clean process, and you're able to save 3 lives. 1 blood donation transfers into 3 transfusions. So visit AmericanRedCross.org and look for a location near you.
Thank you so much, Patty, for sharing that with us. And again, make sure to visit the website so that you can find out where there is a location. And next, we're going to go to Rochelle, our military hero, a Vietnam-era veteran. Rochelle, I'd love to hear during this time right now what you're doing and what your team is doing to continue to serve.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to receive this award on behalf of the amazing military women veterans in the National Women Veterans United organization, and also to remember military women such as Sergeant Simone Robinson, who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving in Afghanistan. She left behind a 2-year-old daughter. She's now 13, and we mentor her NWVU has the only military women veteran center in the state of Illinois. And right now we're working remotely from home. We're making sure that those women who we've been engaged with, about 350 are on our database, that they're safe, that they are also healthy. We have disabled members on there, as well as women at risk. So we're helping them right now, paying bills and making sure that, they can still keep their phones on. We're making referrals for long-term assistance and all those things that they need to help them to be healthy while we're going through this COVID-19. And it's also Nurses Week, so we want to also give a shout out to our military nurses. We salute them today and all others standing in defense of this nation. We thank the Red Cross and their sponsors as well for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle, on behalf of the Red Cross and the people watching this morning, and also the daughter, myself, of 2 Army veterans. Thank you for your service to veterans during this time. Now we're going to turn to Fritzi, who is a Holocaust survivor and the president of the Illinois Holocaust Museum. She is joining us by phone this morning. Fritzi, can you please share with us how, just your message of uniting right now during this really difficult time?
Well, I'm quarantined just like everybody else, so I cannot go out except wearing a mask and doing a little walk outside and taking care of myself. I am concerned about the nurses, our first responders, the doctors, the police department, and I'm inside thinking about how we can help to make sure that people get fed. I'm concerned about hunger, have been there, know what hunger is. So my concern is, how do we keep the food pantries going? How do we feed the children? How do we feed the adults that are lining up today for food? So I keep thinking about this. I think about the survivors. I think about opening the Holocaust Museum when our governor gives us permission to do so people can go and visit. I try not to listen to television. It brings me down. I do call friends. I call people in nursing homes. I try to cheer them up as much as I can. By doing so, it cheers me up. I'm sitting looking at the sunshine. I'm hoping that everybody stays well, families, friends, and everyone. We're all quarantined. We're all in the same position today. But like life, there's always life. Life is wonderful. There is a light that comes on in the morning. This too shall pass. Tomorrow will be better. This is how I've lived all my life. This is how I live today. I do appreciate all that is done by all the nurses and the doctors, and I thank them again.
Thank you so much. I hear your heart in that. And yes, there's such a need for, and a grave needs all across our community. Thank you for sharing that with us. Something definitely to resonate with us today. Thank you again to the heroes that we just spoke to for all you are doing within this community. And now I'd like to welcome our other 6 heroes joining us today. Ivan Escobar, our nurse hero. Detective Phil Hemler, our law enforcement hero. Good morning, a detective with the Palatine Police Department. Dr. Kaleem Malik, our disaster services hero, an emergency room physician at DuPage Medical Group. Good morning and welcome. Lauren Trilovich, our EMA hero, a 911 operator and paramedic with the Office of Emergency Management of Chicago. And Dave Schmeler, a firefighter hero and firefighter with the St. Charles Fire Department. And finally, Robert King, our Good Samaritan hero. Welcome. He facilitated the transport of organs to the hospital after coming upon an ambulance that had been involved in a recent accident. Welcome, everyone, this morning. Well, during this unprecedented time, first responders are truly being hailed as heroes, and that's because you are. We are so grateful for each of you. Thank you, thank you. Ivan, if I can begin with you. I understand that you're an emergency room nurse at St. Anthony's Hospital in Chicago. I'd love to know how your role has changed during this pandemic. I'm sure it's been a really trying time for you and your team.
Yes, that's right. As with all hospitals, we've been seeing an increased amount of patients, so much so that our emergency department has turned in pretty much into an intensive care unit and an emergency room. The community's been great with us. They've been donating food. Even the Emergency Nurses Association had partnered up with the Marriott and allowed us to stay in some of their rooms free of charge.
Wow. That's so amazing. And I know I see you're in a hotel room right now, it looks like.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that? Are you having to stay there away from your family?
Yeah, so before work, I usually come here, I shower up, get dressed, go to work. After work, I come here, do the same thing, shower up, then go home.
Wow. Thank you so much for what you're doing and for your service. And next,
Thank
we're going to turn to Phil, who works as a detective with the Palatine Police Department. Can you tell us just how you're adjusting and how your department is adjusting right now and serving?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to say first, thank you to the Red Cross. I really appreciate this opportunity, and congrats to all the heroes here today. At Palatine, every day is pretty much a new day. The Village of Palatine has done a great job of keeping us updated with the new and best way to handle COVID-19. It has been a big challenge. We've definitely changed our day-to-day operations. Really focused on protecting, the officers whenever we go out there, so that we can continue to serve and protect our citizens of Palatine. That's been the challenge of how to deal with calls, whether we take them on station or take reports over the phone, so on and so forth. The community of Palatine, the village of Palatine, the citizens have done just a remarkable job of stepping up and providing supplies and gloves and face masks and any type of protective gear, protective gear that we can to really help us go out and do our job. So the community has been nothing short of amazing. And last but not least, I'd like to say, Rosie, you're pretty amazing, and you're definitely my hero. So thank you.
Yeah, Rosie is amazing. And Phil, thank you so much. Next, we're going to turn to Dr. Malik as an emergency room physician on the front lines. Can you share what you're facing at this point, and also what you're doing to continue to make an impact even through this?
Well, thank you very much, Adrina. Let me begin by just telling you how old and honored to receive this award, which I want to all of my colleagues and peers that are in the front lines and trenches and ERs across the country and all over the world. So my role as an emergency medicine doctor shifted quickly to help Humanity First USA, which is a not-for-profit global humanitarian relief organization that's working aggressively on two fronts. And in addition to providing over 260,000 meals for this hunger crisis within a crisis that Fritzi had mentioned earlier, Humanity First is working with leading hospitals to bring helmet ventilation for COVID patients. Now, everyone now knows today the need for ventilators is so great, and unfortunately, these patients don't do well and have a very high death rate. So briefly, what helmet ventilation is, that it's been successfully used in Italy with great promise. It's a non-invasive way to bring high flow oxygen delivery in a helmet that is a clear see-through plastic, and patients do very well with this, and almost 1/3 of them never need intubation and ventilator support. So this is of tremendous consequence for those in the medical community and the patients, that it offers that hope. And Humanity First is working tirelessly to bring this helmet ventilation initiative across the country. And if anyone who wants to learn more can visit humanityfirstusa.org and hopefully help us in this crusade to just bring comfort to patients, bring hope, and a new treatment modality that's not really practiced as much as it will be in the future. We'll be learning a whole lot more about it. As I said, almost 1/3 of these patients are showing promise.
Dr. Malik, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing that with us and all the work that you're doing that's so important. Next, we're going to turn to Lauren as a dispatcher. Can you tell us how your role has changed? This is such a stressful time for so many right now.
Good morning. As a 911 call taker, we have to screen callers more thoroughly as this virus presents itself differently in people. The Office of Emergency Management, along with the CDC, is continuing to provide updated policies and procedures to ensure patient safety, along with fire department personnel safety. This virus, it presents itself differently in everyone. As an essential employee, I don't have a choice to stay home. However, I'm very proud and very grateful to serve my community through this 911 system. Sometimes a calming voice can really reassure that we're in this together and ease the panic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That calm voice is so needed right now. And next, we're going to turn to Lieutenant Schmeler. Can you please share with us, just from a firefighter perspective and at the firehouse, what you guys have seen as far as the community serving and uniting during this time?
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the Red Cross for having us here and making this all happen. Had to be a huge endeavor. And then a quick shout out to the crew I was with the day of our rescue, because without them, it doesn't happen. Mike Pizzina, Brandon Paz, and Chad Tinsley. Going back to your question, yeah, the community support for us as firefighters has been incredible. We see so much love, and from the free meals from restaurants that we know are struggling, but they still want to feed us, is amazing. As far as our role as firefighters, paramedics, it hasn't changed much. It's just taken on a new look with all the personal protective equipment that we are now having required to wear. You know, we all talk about the gowns and the gloves and the masks and the eyewear, and now pretty much that's standard for every response that we, every call we go on. So that's a huge change for us, but we'll get through this. We look different when we get there, but we're still coming. Don't worry about that.
And we appreciate that so much. Thank you. Well, heroes, thank you so much for joining us and for giving just a bit of your spirit and your incredible impact on our community every day. I'm inspired by hearing your stories and what you're doing through this time. I want to welcome Selena back in now just to talk about, man, how do you feel hearing from these heroes this morning?
Adrina, I'm actually going to toss it back to you so we can hear from Robert.
Yes, Robert, of course. You did something so important and I almost skipped you. Welcome in, Robert. Can you just talk about what you've seen as far as the community really uniting together during this time across our city?
Oh, okay. Well, good morning. I want to say good morning to all the heroes, and I want to say thank you to Red Cross. It's a privilege and to be here, and it's an honor to accept this award. What I have, my role has changed. I've been very impacted personally by the pandemic. I went from being a top producer with my company to being one of the many Americans applying for unemployment, trying to scramble and figure out how to pay my bills for the upcoming months. Also, how would I provide for my 6-year-old son and make a way for my lovely wife, who was also laid off because of the crisis. But however, we strive to stay positive and keep ourselves busy. My wife has took the liberty of homeschooling Royal. She also inundated me as being the gym teacher. So every day at 1 o'clock, I'm the one in charge of the exercise and different things of that nature. What I have seen in Chicago, that I have seen all the communities come together, staying within the recommended guidelines of social distancing, washing their hands. I have seen the community in North Lawndale passing out face masks. I have seen the on the north side of Chicago with the ones that are hungry, they have the food pantries, and also on the south side, as far as on 79th Street, for the less fortunate, also passing out free face masks to them as well. I think that Chicagoans have a measure of responsibility to keep in mind, to be very mindful, to stay at home. And by doing this, we will keep our first responders safe, the firefighters, the health care workers, the police officers. These are the real heroes. These are the ones that leave their homes each and every day to save our lives, but not only our lives, but the lives of our loved ones. So Chicagoans, we want to just keep in mind and be very mindful of the golden rule, which is treat others the way that you would like to be treated. And by doing this, we can beat this pandemic and we can get our lives back to normal.
Robert, thank you, our good Samaritan hero. It's so good to hear from you this morning. And now I'm going to welcome in Selena. Man, we've just heard some amazing efforts and some stories from our heroes this morning.
Adrina, they are amazing. It is an honor to be able to recognize the heroes' extraordinary contributions. Thank you, heroes, for all that you are doing to make our communities more resilient and compassionate and connected, especially during this time. To all of our guests today, you can also make a difference, and now it is more important than ever. I challenge you to take an action in honor of our class of heroes. First, if you are healthy and you are able to donate blood, please make an appointment today at redcrossblood.org. We are counting on people to continue to donate in the weeks and months to come so we can meet the needs of patients across the country. Second, you can have a meaningful impact by making a gift to the Red Cross. By visiting redcross.org/Chicago Hero, your gift will be matched thanks to the generosity of the Edwardson Family Foundation, Susan and Nick Noyes, and Better Media Group. Here are some ways your generous support can help the Red Cross. For $1,000, you can cover the cost of food and shelter for 5 days for a family of 4 impacted by disaster. For $605, you can provide financial assistance for a family with nowhere to go after a home fire. For $104, you can cover the cost of providing emergency communications and critical community services to 4 military families. For $45, you can cover the cost of providing a parent with diapers, wipes, and formula during a disaster. But a gift of any size will make a difference. And if you visit redcross.org/Chicago Hero, your impact will be doubled. The Red Cross relies on your generosity so we can be there at a moment's notice. If you're ready to take action, I ask that you click on the hand icon on the bottom of your screen to raise your hand in a show of support. I'll pause for a second while you click on the hand. It's at the bottom middle of your screen. Oh, this is fantastic. I wish you could see all of these hands raised. Thank you so much for your support today. You're going to receive a follow-up email later today with details on how you can take action. You are already making a difference by staying home and staying safe. Like Jamal said, it doesn't get simpler than shoveling snow for a neighbor to make a difference. It doesn't get simpler than dropping off groceries for a neighbor or calling a friend that may be having a hard time. You are helping by being present in the lives of people that need you, and that is heroic. Thank you so much. And Adrina, I'm turning it over to you to close out our event.
Selena, thank you so much. It's so amazing just to hear these stories. I'm so inspired at a time when I really do think we all need inspiration. So thank you to our incredible 2020 class of heroes. And thank you to all of you for joining us today virtually. We hope we can be with you again soon when it's safe. You are truly everyday extraordinary. And as Selena shared, you are already helping by being here, by supporting our heroes, by watching their stories, by following on social media, again, at Chicago Red Cross. Now, emergency medical assistance hero Lauren, her story launches at 10 a.m. today and during our 5 p.m. evening news. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you keep these heroes' uplifting stories in your heart, on your mind today as we all navigate this really crazy time. I know it's unsettling, but I hope that what they said today inspired you just a bit. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.